This is the Caribbean Sound 101, number one.
But imagine, sometimes feeling like there's only 2 days in the week. Yesterday was Monday, and look at that Friday afternoon. So hear that. Do you have a talent or skill that you can turn into a business idea? Well, don't sleep on you, my youth. Get your business started today. The Youth Economy Agency will guide you. Provide funding. Yes, sister. Provide funding. Plus training to run your business profitably. Yo, go online now to start living the St. Lucian dream. Just one click and boom, you're in business.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to Youth Unplugged. I am your host, Miguel Fevrier, and we promised an exciting show for you today. A Youth Unplugged, as you know, is sponsored by the Youth Economy Agency, and our aim here is to highlight the accomplishments of the young people on St. Lucia who are making strides in their various fields of endeavor. And today I have a gentleman. You may or may not know him, but if you do not know him, you may know some of the songs that he has produced. And with me in studio is also, I need to add as well that this gentleman has a very interesting name. But before I get to introduce him today, I'd like to add another interesting and random fact to our segment of Youth Unplugged. And that is that did you know that about 60% of our population between the age, uh, uh, sorry, below the age of 35 years old. I'm sorry about that. Below the age of 35 years old. That means that the majority of our population form the youth. So that means a lot. That means, as they say, the youth are our future. So you generally are form the basis of our future. So the opportunities out there are numerous, and you are the future leaders of our country. So when people like me die out, you are the ones who will be there running the country. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my guest. His name is Mr. Like I said, an interesting name. His name is Mr. Seagal Stephen, and I take it that his parents, or parents, may have been a fan of uh, Steven Seagal, the action icon of the 80s and early 90s. He's better known in the music scene as Seagal Productions, if any of you have heard that, and has definitely made a name for himself as a talented and influential producer in the Dennery segment genre. His contributions to the genre, particularly with rhythms like the Yellow Cone rhythm, have played a major role in shaping. Now, if you don't know them, anyway, I'll get to there. Have played a major role in shaping the sound of contemporary Caribbean music. The Yellow Cone rhythm with hits like "Bend for the Bang." So those of you who are not familiar with his name, you may be familiar with the song by KO and Pitch Boy, and Keisha by Pablo helped elevate the genre to new heights, blending elements of dancehall, soca, and other Caribbean sounds in a way that resonated with audiences both locally and internationally. And I need to add as well that he is not a born St. Lucian, but he is a St. Lucian nonetheless, as he is from a sister island in the OECS who shares almost everything with St. Lucia except the fact that they have more rivers than we do. So without further ado, Seagal, welcome to the show. And
Thank
we-
you, thank you.
we'll start by just tell us about yourself, from your background, where you're from, and how you got into music production.
Okay, well, you already introduced. My name is Seagal. I'm from Dominica, and I've been living in St. Lucia from 2015. Yeah, and I've always been into music. I've always been into music, but it was only like more like a hobby for me. I love singing. I started by singing. I love singing, and then because I couldn't make my own beats,
Mhm.
I started trying to make beats. So from there, I started trying to make beats. And when I came into St. Lucia and started living there because I got like relatives here
Mhm.
and stuff. So when I started living here and I got introduced to the Denver segment, it was just a game changer for me. You know, the tone, the song, the bass, the bass for me. It was the bass. It was the bass for me, and when I heard it, it was just the song. You know, like to me, as you say, we share a lot of common things. You know, being from like Saint Lucia and Dominica, like in terms of songs and cultural songs, we have almost the same culture. So the songs kind of already resonate with me. You know, the precautions and stuff like that. So I just started making it, and I feel like 2 years after that, I had a lot of artists sing like a major hits on one of my beats, you know, and it was just a good feeling. So I cannot say anything, you know, it was just good for me, you know, from there. But now that I'm finally putting myself out there, you know, and putting a name to my song, I appreciate, you know, everything that comes with it, you know, and I'm just in gratitude right now.
You know, until you said the word culture, I would have never guessed that you were Dominican. Until you pronounced it, I should say.
Oh,
The way you
yeah,
pronounce it.
yeah, because I've been here for a while.
You know, I mean, among other things, I think our accents are pretty similar. I mean, St. Lucians may tell a Dominican accent, Dominicans likewise St. Lucian accent, but
Yes,
someone on
yes.
the outside looking in may not be able to tell the difference. Now, that said, it's interesting that you say Denry segment. The guest I had a few weeks ago, Johan Yogi, the producer, of course, you
Yeah.
would know it's our first Grammy Award winner
Mhm,
from St. Lucia. I posed a question to him about Denry segment because Denry segment is very polarizing. You find people who, especially those who find themselves in the older brackets,
mhm,
age bracket, may not embrace it so
yeah.
much. Many some cite the lyrics, some cite the rawness of it, and there are others who just not like the whole Creole, sort of Afro Creole beat. Um, what attracts you to Denry segment, and what would you say to critics of the genre?
Well, I'm gonna say something. First of all, like to me, I like to look at things like not narrow-minded, but open-minded. And what I realized is it's been a common thing. Like when something new is coming out, for it to get a lot of bashing. Like take for example, Booyah music.
Mhm.
Would you believe that I
Wait,
was
are we
one of
talk? Sorry, are we talking about the original? Because the Booyah music we knew was the WCK
Booyah
original.
music on a whole,
Original. Okay.
just Booyah music on a whole. Even I was at one point very young, found myself was criticizing Booyah music
Mm-hmm.
because I was into dancehall. That's how I started singing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like we used to call it Lautaro and you know, like stuff like that. And you know, growing up, if you have an open mind, you know, you could think of things logically. The youth is in charge of music,
Mm-hmm.
so they in charge of the direction where it's going. So I would say to them, instead of bashing it, they better look at the youths and try and work with them, you know, because it wouldn't like be good for them in terms of image and the youth, as you say, the youth is the future. So it's gonna go in that direction anyway. So instead of bashing it, they should try and come to a certain level where they could make it better.
I think though, as much as I said it's sorry, as much as I said it's polarizing.
Mm,
Um, you do find some people may have changed their mind when they saw how certain songs have been embraced on the wider stage and the world stage. So we
mhm,
look at, like, of course, the obvious example is Split in the Middle, right? And how it's been embraced by other people. Some people may have looked at that example and may have
mhm,
changed their minds. For me, I like the lyrics in the song.
mhm,
So there are a few Denry segment songs. As much as I was like you, I didn't like it in the
mhm.
first thing. Start listening to them, and you see how amazing it is to even rap in Creole
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. But there's a few that the lyrics, again, they
Mhm.
are a bit too raw and they may need clean up to get that international appeal. What view do you
Exactly.
share on that?
100%. I agree. I agree, and it's something I've been trying to do. Well, I'm I'm actively doing it with artists and working with artists to not just the lyrics, but song quality and just yeah, song quality. Like it's a big thing for me. So the lyrics need to clean up, the song quality, the writing skills. Like let me look at it like a genre,
Mhm.
a genre. Like if you don't look at it like a genre, it's always gonna get the backlash, you know. And right now, I'm not gonna lie, it's taking licks, you know, because it's like nobody, even the people you would consider that would be the new segment artists,
Mhm.
what are they doing right now? What are they singing? What genre are they singing right now?
But you're right. Danish segment has been considered even locally a genre of its own. I think
Mhm.
some years ago, in first ever we saw on the rise of Danish segment there was a competition apart from our regular soca competition. There was a Danish segment once for specific. I think
Mhm.
that's a good thing.
It should,
It's a good thing. We see
it
now
is, it should be like that.
Afrobeat has taken over the world by storm. At some point, we saw reggaeton
Mhm.
among those things. Have you have you tried to reach out to the artists? I mean, who you may have produced for, speak to them about cleaning up. I don't want to use the term clean up the lyrics because inherently it's Creole, and even the way some things we said in Creole may not. If you translate directly to English, yes, maybe, but I mean, some argue that it's a part of embracing our culture and what's
Mhm.
inherently ours. But have you tried to speak to some of the artists based on your view that they need some cleanup, and what has the reception been like?
To be honest, the way I work with artists, it's not like I don't tell them, hey, uh, I only do that with one artist I'm working with. Well, all artists I'm working with right now, I didn't used to do it before. Before, I was more like, you come with your song, I have a beat, you record it, and you make it work. But now, you know, being the level I'm on and me getting so serious about the music, I have taken a different approach to it, you know, and the result speaks for itself. When you decide to do the things the right way and you decide to do it properly with an open mind of saying like, hey, you know, that a lot of people are gonna be listening to this on the bus, at work, you know, there's no limit. So you
Mhm.
have to keep in mind to the audience you're reaching. So yes, anything that comes out to in my studio, I take a look at it and I say, hey, you have to change that or make it radio friendly or you know stuff like that. And that's something we've been working on, and we have to keep working on it. As youth, I feel we need to think of the music bigger, like worldwide, because right now it's not that difficult to make it songs right now.
Mhm.
If you put in effort and you really construct the song properly, and I mean, you might need a little budget to make things happen,
Mhm.
but I think if you do it the right way, there's no limit to it. You know, it's easier than ever before to make it in music.
I was going to ask you another question before I get to that. Since you mentioned budget, have you reached out to the Youth Economy Agency? Have you started? I do. We do know that they've assisted a number of artists and,
Mhm.
among other things, DJs as well, in terms for grant the way of grants and business. Setting up the business and every client and everything. Have you reached out and?
I appreciate you asking that question. You know, I did reach out. Well, in some sense, I was supposed to be working with somebody to try and get a grant. You know,
Mhm.
which would have helped me very very well. Seeing that I work with so many artists, but you see, the challenge was for me. Um, I'm not a citizen
A citizen. Well,
yet. I mean, I
essentially, you
could
are.
make
You are
it
the
happen.
ACS
I
citizen,
am,
so that makes you a
you know.
citizen of solution nonetheless. Yeah.
Well, basically, but you know, through reading the terms of the
Mhm.
grant, that was one of the challenges I came across,
Okay.
and I never pursued it as much. But I guess if the opportunity is still out there, I would love to take advantage of it. I would do so many great things with it. You know, not just for me, but for a lot of artists. Saint Lucian artists. I'm working with. I mostly work with Saint Lucian artists because that's where I'm living. You know, right now.
This show is sponsored by a Youth Economy Agency, and I know for sure that they are listening. So you could always walk in. Have you walked into the offices? Have a chat? Had a chat with any of the? So you need to do that. You
I
still
sit
have
in the
5 years
middle.
to go, and which is what I was going to get to. You've obviously done a lot in the 10 years that you've been in St. Lucia, in terms of hit songs, whether locally, regionally, and everything. Did when your first hit, which what was your first hit, right? Your first hit
Locally,
locally, locally, regionally, and
I
did
have
you
so many.
yeah, and did you expect when you got your first one? Okay, did you regionally? Did you expect it? Did you expect it to be as big as it was? And what was that one? Tell me which one you have in mind. Sorry.
All right. So the first hit um was the Yellow Code Rhythm, as I said. That was,
Hmm.
and it was one of the most major rhythm.
Hmm.
It didn't get any road match, but you see, on the Carnival Road, that was all that was playing, just songs on that rhythm. And the first song to started playing on the radio non-stop on that song was from Fastlane. Let's make a snap, baby. Let's make
Hmm.
a snap. Yes, that song, and that was just completely destroying the radio. And when I made that beat, I didn't expect it, honestly. You know, the beat was made in like 20 minutes. You know, I had an idea for a song because I like to sing, you know.
Hmm.
I made the beat, then segment, kind of like then segment, but being from Dominica, I added the keyboard,
Hmm.
the famous keyboard, Booyah keyboard.
Hmm.
And I was thinking, I actually was thinking twice to add it in, you know, because like I wonder if they're gonna resonate with it, you know. And I just put it in, you know, and then I was posting it on Facebook and stuff, and people started sharing it. Yo, like listen to that, you know, tagging people in, like listen to that video, listen to him, you know, listen. And people started asking me for the reading, and I was just sending it out like that, and turn my back on it. And when I check, I like there's so many hit songs on it. There are like so many hit songs popping up, like people I never even know, never seen. I was just hearing songs. I was like, go ahead, you know. Yeah.
All right, all right. So before we get into the second part of our interview, do have a new song that's out. I'm gonna try to see if we can get our audience to head. It's called Denry Segment.
Denry segment.
Imagine that, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The song is a Denry Segment song
Denry segment.
called Denry Segment by Jadel, Gigi, and Tolly Boy.
Yes.
All right, folks, let's just hear it. And it's produced, of course, by Seagal Productions. Our guy Seagal Steven. Man,
Yeah,
that's
man.
an interesting name. See if we can get some of that. All right.
Killer, current now.
Seagal Productions.
Yo, Seagal. TG there. That one there is a mad segment. Tell boy, I think. Mati, lyric said la. Kakale left said la. When you open pesa, come to my place, Kaila. Si you want it over. Ekuni de he, me tell him how I'll let you know. Just pesa, but my taking and target. I have the tactic. Waistline automatic. I said be like a matic. No lighters pocket. When you talk, you have to back it. That script's so good, my man have to track it. Okay, now, swole controller, pesa roll corolla, vibrate for controller, pesa straight for people, two nessa computer. What? Pesa swole controller, pesa roll corolla, vibrate for controller, pesa straight for people, two nessa computer.
C'est pour des estico, rouler ça pour un MTO. Laissez pour ça, où ça fait ça, very fantastico. Femme, et tout ça go down low. Well, femme go down low. There's a bad couple sans un gros. C'est ça, Jack Cardio.
Mati, lyric said la. Kakale left side la. When you open up pesa, if I'm like a Kaila. Si you want it over. Ekuni de he, me tell him how I'll let you know. Just pesa, but my tooth taking and target. I have the tactic. Waistline automatic. I said be like a matic. No lighters pocket. When you talk, you have to back it. That script's so good, my man have to track it. Okay, now, swole controller, pesa roll corolla, vibrate for controller, pesa straight for people, two nessa computer. What? That's swole controller, pesa roll corolla, vibrate for controller, pesa straight for people, two nessa computer. What? I lyric said that. Kakale left side la. When you open up pesa, come by quasi Kaila. Si you want it over. Ekuni de he, me tell him how I'll let you know. Just pesa, but my tooth taking and target. I have the tactic. Waistline automatic. I said be like a matic. No lighters pocket. When you talk, you have to back it. That script's so good, my man have to track it.
all right. That was Chadel, Gigi, and Tolly Boy, and
Yes.
produced by Seagal.
Yes, yes.
Denry segment. Imagine
Denry
that. That's just the
segment.
name of the Denry segment. Now you know it's funny said. I said, oh, if I get a chance to open a club, I just open the club and call it the club.
Yeah.
The club.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna lie. I named it that. I told them they didn't have a name for it. It happened like Gigi came to the studio and she wanted a beat for a song. Not this one, but
Mhm.
a song she have. And I made that beat for it. I thought I would have added more to it and stuff like that. But when Jadel came in the studio, he met Gigi there and he just like, yeah, a cool one. And he was like, yo, I like that beat. And he like, hey, we finish it, I put it in the program. And then we start, and then he voiced that piece on it.
Mhm.
And then Gigi and Charlie Boy added their piece. And I was like, that's a real Henry segment. Like, we need to bring back the Henry segment vibe. Like, I was like, I'm from the island of Dominica. I love bouillon,
Mhm.
but it's so much in the place right now, and it's not a bad thing, but it's like what happened to the Henry segment,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So,
I get you.
so that's why the name came in, and I was like, yo, I'm not giving that. I'm not trying to film too much. I just naming it the Henry
Henry
segment,
segment.
just
You know, uh, you say that, and you said something, and I find that it's short, 2 minutes 10 seconds, and you know why a lot of this dinner segment song that I personally like or have grown on me like there's a VHC boys I really like your mother have the land papers. I love the lyrics. Which is why I love about this and
I love it too.
the creativity. Now, which is my question is, and I'm going to tell you why I asked that question. My question is, what goes through you guys' minds
Mm-hmm.
when you're producing those beats and even coming up with the lyrics? What what is the point or your area of appeal, your target? I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Grocery Friday night, and that's when I someone started to appreciate Denry segment as someone who was a bit of a doubter. It was about after 1 in the morning, and it's heading towards closing time, and
Mm-hmm.
they started to wind up their songs, and there was a line of girls walking, one behind the other. And as my point opposite where Theo's has a new, I'm Kyle's opposite there. I'm standing there,
Mm-hmm.
and they were on their way out. As soon as the Denry
They came.
segment came on, the line just turned around and they started. In fact, they first started dancing in place, but they were,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, "Oh, it looked like this." Someone said, "We're not going yet." Went straight back into the crowd.
Yes.
So then I realized that the mass appeal, and I'm talking about a line of about 12 of them. They came. I don't
Yes.
know where they came from or the crew, but then I realized the mass appeal. So what goes through your guys' heads? What were you
Listen,
trying to appeal to?
the Henry segment. Well, I'm not gonna. When I came here in 2015, the Henry segment was just starting to, with Black Boy, Messi, Mata.
Mhm.
These were the people. Ampa. When I started making it, and to me, it was just a music for dancing for girls and for dancing. Like to me, that's what it started on. And for me, when I became the Henry segment, it just the bass just has to hit. That's it. The bass on the snare. You see these two things, it just has to hit
The
you
men like
right
the
in the
bass.
chest.
The men like the bass.
Yeah. So for me, that's my approach to it. And for the lyrics part, as I say, I feel they like to appeal to women more. Like action, instruction songs. But I've been trying to make them do like a little more than that. My art is like to take a little more different approach to it, like more versatile,
Mhm.
you know. So it could go as you say worldwide. Yeah.
You
But
go ahead.
but you see what I would say, huh? I I I mean they're doubting it now, but they will soon realize because I like to work with young people and I just work with a lot of young DJs.
Mhm.
And that's that's the plan there to get the young DJs back on board with the new segment because I know the people like it, but what happened when they go to a session and they start playing it, somebody come out from somewhere and start saying something, they start complaining and the censorship in St. Lucia, I find it extremely hard.
Yeah, you find it's hard.
It's difficult because
Expand on that for me.
all right, like certain things I feel like you could get away with in songs,
Mm-hmm.
like just like no limit like they're so tight, like certain things, you simple things, you know what I mean. I mean, I get the we have to be pleasant, when we're doing things. I can expect the extreme,
Mm-hmm.
to be playing on the radio and stuff like that, especially when it comes to the radio. But I mean, if you're in a dance at 12 o'clock in the night,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you want to get it good, yet I mean, if you are in a dance at 12 in the night, you should be a grown up.
Yep.
So I don't see why you have to say, like I notice that a lot in the Friday night too, and I'm not criticizing it. I'm like, yo, that's what the white people want. But you all just don't know,
I
yeah.
guess yeah, the standards. I think that is that might be because swearing in a public space. Remember what happened to it wasn't here Mary J. Blige. I remember it was an artist some years
Mm,
ago that they swore on stage non-solution,
mm,
but they were arrested for using that language. So I agree. We still have somewhat of a conservative society, which is
mm.
one of the reasons Denry segment, I believe,
Have
was
to change up the
I not have to change, but I think that's one of the reasons why it was criticized by the wider population,
yeah.
by those the conservative people who are about more conservative and things like certain words. I will not repeat them here now.
Yeah, we
I'm
can
not
we
even
can
sure if it's
yeah.
fine to say on the radio,
No, no,
but
no,
that
yeah.
in some of the songs that he used them, and they they jump. People jump like, oh, can you see that and stuff. So I understand where you're going.
Yeah.
And I think our broadcast laws, our broadcast bill, and the thing is, St. Lucia doesn't have a broadcast bill at
Oh,
this
yeah.
point. So even that, whatever is being regulated right now is being regulated under the criminal code.
Yeah.
So there's no broadcast act. But we have 3 minutes left. Can you speak to some of the challenges that you have faced throughout your tenure and 10 years, ironically, and get in music production?
I wanna say my biggest challenge for me was at a financial standpoint.
Youth
Yeah.
economy. I'm just saying, reminding you again.
Yeah.
So
No,
I know you
because
guys are listening.
if I gotta be honest, this was my biggest challenge. I mean, I had talent, I had the skill developing, but the the fundings to go out there, shoot videos, um, buy equipment, good equipment, because trust me, equipment make a big difference. You
Mm-hmm.
know, good equipment and keeping up with time, because you see time. We have to. A lot of people don't take the time to really sit back and look and see what changes are being made.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are in a social media era right now, and it's very huge, bigger than anything. Right now, social media is bigger than anything right now when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
getting across. And yeah, the challenges was finance, directions,
Mm-hmm.
like mentorship. I barely had any mentors. Well, I don't think I had any mentors in the music game. I self-taught myself everything I know.
That's brilliant though.
Yeah, I no mentors. So, and just good quality people to work with, because I've I've made a lot of artists have gotten their first hit, you know, on my rhythms,
Could you imagine?
and they never get a second one. Why?
Because they go to someone else, they
Because
figure they
as
made
soon
too
as
big.
they, so stuff like that. And this is why I took the bold step, because I wasn't a media person, like, to be. I used to be on the media, but after a while I had to, withdraw from that and just do my music producing always, but not too much on the media. And then when I saw, like, this is what happened, and I just started to push myself,
Mm-hmm.
and brand myself, because I was like, if that's what's gonna happen, like, I'm not gonna bring people up and then they leave me like nothing, So I started branding myself, and that's where I started doing videos. But first I had to put myself in a position to do that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I believe people have to plan out. things how they're doing it. As I see, the financial was delaying a little bit, but as soon as I was able to, I started branding myself, posting videos, and upgrading my stuff. And I think I'm on the right path. I feel like, you see, 2025 will be a major year for me and the artists I'm working with. You know,
All
Yeah,
right, great. But this was great having you.
I appreciate it.
And I wish you all the best in your endeavor. I will remind you again to take a walk. You went based on what you may have heard from people. You need to take a walk
Mhm.
to Chaussee Road to the Youth Economy Agency. Go have a chat. You will have a chat. And they'll be willing to listen to you, help you, and guide you the
I
right
would
way.
certainly do that.
Yeah, man. Because our sponsors, may I add again, have assisted many promotions in various fields of endeavor. Like I said, sports for DJ. I was surprised to see DJ on the list and everything.
Really? Wow.
And you said the most important thing without even saying earlier on when you introduced yourself, you said it started out as a hobby
Yeah.
and then it's now become a business for you.
Yes.
All right. Just quickly, final thoughts. What do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I see myself doing a lot of great things with a lot of great people I'm working with right now. And let me mention one of them, Jadel. That's the artist. That's
Big up
like my
Jadel. Big
main
up Jadel.
artist I'm working with right now. Full of potential, very lyrical and very versatile, willing to listen and exchange ideas. So big up to him for that. And I feel Jadel is gonna be one of the biggest artists St. Lucia have seen in a long time.
You heard it here, St. Lucia on Youth Unplugged. Shadell will be one of the biggest artists we will see in a long time. You heard it from Mr. Seagal himself.
Yes. So yeah, it just as I say, you say I'm gonna take a walk to
Youth Economy
because
Agency.
we need to get some stuff out there, some videos,
You'll
because
have,
a lot of
yeah.
people asking us for visualizers and
You're going to get all the training that you need,
Yeah.
though, in terms of even running the business and everything. It has
Yes,
been a challenge for you. So
I'll be very open to that.
good luck, my brother. I know that the EA office is listening, and I'll be glad to put in a call and just let them know that you're coming in case they
Yes.
didn't know.
And I want to say one more thing. On behalf of Miguel, RCA, and the whole radio team, I thank you very much for this opportunity to come here today. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That's
again,
what
my
it's about,
brother.
my brother. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Thank you very much for making it here. And this has been Youth Unplugged with me, Miguel Fevrier, for another Thursday afternoon. I hope you enjoyed this segment. And I will be with you next Wednesday as usual for Letla and on Thursday for Youth Unplugged. Youth Unplugged, like I said many times, and I will continue to say, has been brought to you by our friends at the Youth Economy Agency.
Yesterday was Monday, and look at them Friday afternoon. So hear that. Do you have a talent or skill that you can turn into a business idea? Well, don't sleep on you, my youth. Get your business started